options, and let them make the decisions that are necessary to optimize their health. One of the things that we're doing is Reiki therapy, which is a self-healing modality. I could do a Reiki session for you for an hour, and you would feel relaxed and feel wonderful and leave, and maybe 3 hours later the stress in your life has overcome you. What we would like to do is to teach Reiki to our clients so that they have it as a self-healing. That's something that they can do every morning when they wake up, or in the afternoon if they're feeling stressed, that they can teach their children. Because we're not a country that really teaches our young how to deal with the stresses of this world. We're just, as opposed to, for instance, Japan, where that's considered, you know, part of your education is to learn how to deal with stress, how to decide what are the stressors in my life that I have control over, what are the stressors that I have no control over, and how do I let go of those things that I really have no control over.
And of course, Ms. Crawford, let's have you to make some additional statements, and then we'll have Dr. Robertson to sort of close us out today in reference to this. I think we've got about 5 minutes.
Okay.
But what are some of the other things that you think that you ought to leave with us today?
Well, let's think of the far-reaching effects of a family state of health. If a couple has unhealthy health habits, poor nutrition, they smoke, they drink too much, let's think about what happens as a result of that in the next 100 years. You know, every generation you're going to have children. You could have up to 500, 1,000 people by the end of 100 years. How many of those health habits will be passed down to those people? And then it becomes logarithmic by the next 100 years. We might be talking 500,000 people. So the decision to make good choices not only affects your quality of life, it affects the quality of life of your great-grandchildren. So we want to help the community realize that it's up to you. You can save your children. They don't have to have poor quality of life, but it's up to you. You have to make the decisions to have nutritious food in the house, to have them see you have healthy relationships between husband and wife, to see you exercise, to see you do healthy things to deal with your stress rather than unhealthy things.
And you know, Dr. Robertson, it seems to me that especially since we're dealing with African American females often, that there ought to be something that you can say in reference to why is it that we have such a difficult time to convince African American females to be concerned about their health. I mean, they don't exercise as much as they perhaps should. They don't, well, you know the problems. Why is that? Is that something peculiar with the African American female, or what is that they don't exercise, they don't do the kind of things that are necessary, and the obesity rate is much greater than some of the other groups? Why is that?
What a loaded question. I think that African American women are indeed unique in that they are heads of families in some cases. They are looking at trying to hold the family together, supporting our men. Is also important to all women, but in particular African American women. There are certain stressors that still African American women must deal with that other women may not have to deal with. So those stressors can also dictate how we treat ourselves. So, you know, why are we obese? Well, probably because of the many reasons that other individuals are obese. But what we want to do again is impact women, in particular African American women, and empower those women to make sound, healthy choices so that they can be better, look better, even feel better, and live better. That's what's most important, and that's what we want to do at Harmony.
And what would you say in reference to that statement over the last minute that we have here? Ms. Crawford?
You know, when you're struggling to put food on the table, walking for 30 minutes may not be a priority. But when you realize the long-reaching effects of your lifestyle and your way of life before your children, you may need to shuffle your priorities a little. And I say, if you would run into a burning building to save your children, even if you didn't think you could save them, you would still try. Can you give up your cigarettes?
Very good. And of course, Ms. Barton, we've got about a minute and a minute for you to make a final statement.
Okay, and I think that we will all agree that everyone deserves the very best care that they can possibly get, from infancy all the way up. So, you know, one of the things our practice really emphasizes is breastfeeding, because that is the very best start. Anything else is artificial feeding, and do we really want to artificially feed our children? So men, women, children, regardless of race, creed, deserve the very best care that they can possibly get. And that's what we're striving for.
And that is what Harmony is up to, is that right?
That's
Trying
what
to
we're
provide the
up to.
best care.
Absolutely.
Very good. And of course, let me thank the three of you, ladies, for coming by and giving us that excellent information. And let me apologize for the breaks that we had here today, but I think that overall, the message is out and the message is clear that you do believe that Harmony is a start for a large number of people. And of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good night.